It's a 1963 split window, fuel injected Corvette coupe. This is the first year of the Stingray. And this is the first year of the second generation of Corvette. First generation 1953 to 1962. Second generation 1963 through 1967. The split window Corvette was only built for 1 year. It was a big debate between several people within General Motors. Artis Duntov and Bill Mitchell. Artis Duntov did not want the split window because it's difficult to see out from the back in the mirror. Bill Mitchell, from a styling standpoint, he says, nope, we got to have it. So he won for 1 year. And then in 1964, they took the split window away. Unfortunately, a number of people in 1964 took their 1963 Corvettes and cut the back window out to make it look like a 1964, which it did. Today, those cars are not worth near as much as a 1963. And I've heard there are some kits where people have tried to make them back into a 1963 again.
This car is what we say it's correct.
It's numbers
Tell us
matching.
what that means in this world.
Well, people say they have a correct Corvette, they have a numbers matching Corvette. This, in fact, has been judged by the National Corvette Restorer Society, NCRS, at a chapter level and 3 region levels to verify that all the numbers, all the equipment, and everything is in fact correct. It's about a 98-point car. There's a few things on this that you cannot find. For example, the carpet has been replaced on this, and the heel pad and the carpet for the replacement has got the wrong number of ribs in it by 1. You can't find the original one, so they're not there anymore. So you get points deducted for that.
Tell us what numbers matching means.
So that means the VIN number on the car matches the serial number on the engine and the transmission and the rear end and the many, many other parts, the starter, the water pump, the alternator.
So well, you know that everything's original.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be original, but it's original matching. So it could have been replaced at one time as long as they put the correct model and serial number, if that part is serialized, back on the car.
When we look at the front office in this car, you've got a radio there that is a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah, it's a very unique radio. First of all, it's vertical, so the radio is mounted vertically, and it's unique there, and it fits right into the console. It has what they call a wonder bar, so you push the wonder bar and it seeks any channels that are strong. So today, that doesn't sound like much at all, but in 1963, that was pretty revolutionary. This car has only an AM radio. Shortly after this car was built, a few weeks later, they start offering an AM and an FM as an option.
And you know when this car was built?
Yes, this car was built in March of 1963. I know that from the VIN. There's actually, NCRS produces what they call a birthday book. And you can go through by your VIN number and see what week your car was built, actually what day in many cases where your car was built.
Show us that the antenna on here, back when we had AM radio, how tall is that?
Yeah, the AM radio required a very tall antenna in order to get its strength. So you can see that antenna sticks way up there. And that's what was necessary in order to get an AM channel.
Finally, show us, talk about what's under the hood here.
Well, this is a 1963 fuel-injected 327, 360 horsepower. Now, fuel injection today is very common. Almost all cars have fuel injection. It's very efficient. In 1963, there is no electronics on this fuel injection at all. Today, fuel injection is totally electronic. This is mechanical fuel injection. So it has a mechanical fuel pump on the engine. It has another mechanical pump up on the fuel injection unit that forces fuel in, and each one of these little copper wires here feeds fuel into the cylinder, each cylinder of the engine. So it was very, very efficient for its day and also had great performance. This is the first time that Corvette had ever put a fuel fill back in the back. So this cap is taped over for the show, but you pull this up, this cap comes off, and it's got a very big hole here, and the fuel tank's just right below here. You just put your nozzle in very carefully and put your fuel. Now when it rains and water comes around here, there's a drain hole here that allows the water to drain out through this hole and back down on the bottom side of the bumper.
Even the wheel covers on this car are totally correct.
Well, that's correct. These are actually called 2-bar knockoff wheels, and they originally came out on the
They have
63.
2 bars.
2 bars, and you use a hammer to knock them, and then the wheel comes off that way.
Okay.
They're very unique. They went to 3 bars later on, which were a little easier to get a hold of with a hammer.
Tony, as I look around here, there's something that I see. I think you may have a little bit of explaining to somebody.
Man,
Now,
I got.
Where's your Corvette kept?
It's in my garage. I don't know what those are. Can I get off camera here, please? I'm not sure what this is all about.